What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to do a quick little update here. So the lawmakers have returned today, and we're looking at a situation where there's still talk of the first infrastructure bill, second infrastructure bill. How are we going to move forward? All this stuff is still out there, and so we're going to address that right now. But first off, on this channel, we talk about news that matters. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you also see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, before we get started, I do want to send my condolences to the Colin Powell family. Mr. Powell passed away earlier today due to COVID-19 complications, and this he was a great man, and I followed him. I've always been involved in politics. I've always been interested in politics. I majored in political science, and Mr. Powell was one of the people that I followed a lot when it came to the whole political landscape. And I liked his demeanor. I liked the way that he could work with both Democrats and Republicans. I mean, he was on the Joint Chiefs. He was a Secretary of State. He was a great political figure, and I just wanted to express my condolences to the family. Okay, so as I stated, the lawmakers have returned to Washington, and so now we're going to hear more and more talk about the first infrastructure bill and the second infrastructure bill. The focus right now is on that second infrastructure bill. Just to back up, that first infrastructure bill was passed by the Senate. It's sitting in the House right now, and they have not moved on that first infrastructure bill. You have progressives in the House that are saying, we are not going to vote for the first infrastructure bill until we have some type of resolution with the second infrastructure bill. And then when it comes to the second infrastructure bill, you have Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema, and they have been blocking this second infrastructure bill. They're saying that they don't like the price tag. It's $3.5 trillion at the current state. They want it lower than that. So it looks like the negotiations are really starting to happen. We know that the White House has met with Senator Manchin. We know that Ms. Jayapal, the progressive leader, has met with Mr. Manchin. So we're in a situation now where they're really starting to hash out what needs to happen when it comes to the second infrastructure bill. And the hope is that the talk can happen, they can negotiate and get this done by October 31st. That is the artificial deadline that has been set. And so we'll have to see if they can meet that deadline. I personally, if you want to know my opinion when it comes down to deadlines, I don't see them getting this done by October 31st. Okay, it's a 10-day window, 10 working days that they have to get this done. I see it going over October 31st. You already have some lawmakers kind of saying, well, we don't really need to have a deadline anyway. We just need to get things done. But as far as setting these artificial deadlines, they're not helpful. And so by them saying that, by you hearing lawmakers say that, that shows you that this October 31st deadline is just kind of, they're just putting a number there. But the reality is it's probably going to be pushed past that October 31st deadline. Now, I want to talk about the first infrastructure bill as well, because I think this is one of those situations where this is long overdue. Okay, and I know I talked about the progressives and I talk about the moderates, and the progressives are pretty much controlling things when it comes to the House right now. And Speaker Pelosi, she was all set to vote on that first infrastructure bill. But guess what? The progressives held her from that vote. So she pulled back because she knew she didn't have the numbers. But when it comes to the first infrastructure bill, they need to get that done. They need to pass that. The House needs to vote on it, pass it, send it to the president, and then they can work on the second infrastructure bill. And I was really holding out for a while when it came to the first infrastructure bill and second infrastructure bill, do them simultaneously. I thought that was okay. But one thing that I did say, and I said this a couple of months ago when they start talking about this, in this situation, if that first infrastructure bill, if they drag that on too long, it's really going to be a bad situation. And they have dragged it on too long at this point. We're at about 2 months. So they need to move forward with that first infrastructure bill with the promise that they will be able to pass something, a second infrastructure bill. And one more thing to mention, if they need to do another reconciliation bill, guess what? They can do another reconciliation bill next year. So that's still on the table. So if they can't get everything they want in the second infrastructure bill, they can do another reconciliation bill in 2022. So I think that the focus here, when we're looking at the first infrastructure bill, the second infrastructure bill, pass the first one, work on that second one, try to work with Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema. And I haven't mentioned Senator Sinema. I don't know if she's talking with the White House right now. I don't know if she's talking with the progressive leader, Jayapal, right now. So I don't know what her demands are. We know a little bit more about Senator Manchin. He's pretty vocal when it comes to what he wants in this second infrastructure bill, this human infrastructure bill. But Senator Sinema, she's not talking very much. So a lot of people don't know where she stands when it comes to this second infrastructure bill. So just to wrap this up, we have Democrats and we have progressives and the moderates. They're fighting against each other. You have the White House somewhere in the middle, and they're trying to negotiate this reconciliation bill, this second infrastructure bill. You have Republicans that are not playing a role at all when it comes to this reconciliation bill, the second infrastructure bill. We had a bipartisan group vote on the first infrastructure bill. When it comes to the second infrastructure bill, they're hands off. The Republicans are at this point. And we don't know when this is going to realistically get passed, the second infrastructure bill, both the first and the second, if you really want to look at it, because we have the artificial deadline, October 31st. I think it will go past then. We'll probably go into December. I'm looking at when we have the talk again about funding the government and raising the debt ceiling. That's when everything might have to come together at that point, because that is a hard deadline, and that would be December 3rd. So they're just kicking this can down the road. I think they're going to continue to do that until we find out exactly what Senator Sinema and Senator Manchin want when it comes to the infrastructure bill, the second infrastructure bill. Until we know that, we're not going to be able to move forward. And you have to also understand, if Senator Manchin wants a certain thing, but the progressives don't want that, then guess what? If they can't come to some type of an agreement, the first infrastructure bill is not going to go anywhere, and the second infrastructure bill is not going to go anywhere either. And then also we have Senator Sinema. Once we find out exactly what she wants, if progressives aren't on board with that, these bills aren't going to go anywhere. So that's all I have for you guys today. So there's not very much information out there, but as soon as more information comes out, I will definitely come back and let you know what's going on. So make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification. And I want to know what you guys think about this whole thing. What do you think about these infrastructure bills? Do you think they should pass that first infrastructure bill now and then move forward with the second infrastructure bill after that? Let me know what you think down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.